What it do? They gonna feel me, family, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Reeves, and you are now tuned in to episode 19. I got my boy Rob, we got my boy LC, and we got my boy Chris. And if you're new to the channel, we just want you guys to make sure that you like, share, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and don't forget to tell a friend about the channel. But anyway, as you guys know, this past week on Wednesday, rapper Young Dolph was shot and killed in Memphis, Tennessee, at Makita's off of Airways. And it was a pretty tragic event, not just here locally in Memphis, Tennessee, but also around the world. People have expressed their condolences. And we just want to get you guys' thoughts on the news when you heard the news. Like, what did you guys think about that?
Um, Man, I at first I didn't believe it because I know a lot of people play jokes. People always on social media, they always trying to kill off a celebrity. Um, I didn't believe it, but at the same time, I was like, I mean, Dolph is a random guy for them to just say he got shot. You know what I'm saying? And then when I was on Twitter, because I deleted my Facebook, I was on Twitter and I looked up his name and I see the police, I see the people recording the video him outside of Makita, well, recording the video outside with the police there, outside of Makita's, and they was like, "Man, they didn't kill Dolph, y'all." And I was like, "Bro, ain't no way." And it was just crazy because it was like the whole store. Because I mean, the store I work in is predominantly black. We all young, we all listen to Dolph, Key Glock, all of them. You know what I'm saying? So when we heard it, we all really just kind of like stopped, like, "Bro, ain't no way, ain't no way." I was like, "Bro, you heard what happened? You heard what happened?" And I immediately went from in disbelief to upset and sadness because it's like, bro, like, why does this gotta keep happening? Same shit we went through with Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? What was this, just 2 years ago? You know what I mean? And it was like I had the same exact feeling, like hoping and praying it wasn't him, and then finding out that it is, and then you just go through this sadness as if you lost a relative. You know what I'm saying? And I think it hit closer to home here in Memphis because it's like, you know, this dude was raised here. You know what I'm saying? He had the Memphis hustle, that Memphis grit and grind, that made him who he is. You know what I mean? And just to, if you look at the way he passed, and you look at the way, I'm not even gonna say passed. If you look at the way his life was taken, and you compare it to the way Nipsey's life was taken, I mean, it's just two guys with their guard down because they're somewhere where they think that they're loved. You know what I mean? He's in his hometown, off airways, chilling, a place where he was just at 7 days earlier. You know what I mean? Not even thinking nothing of it. And a man can't even go get cookies for his mom. You feel me? And support a business here. And it's like Charlemagne made a valid point, bro. It's like we kill the people that are sent here to help us. Dude was a very good dude, no matter what beef he had with whoever. You know what I mean? If you actually took the time to know Dolph, put his music to the side. If you actually took the time to listen to him in different meetings and different podcasts and shows and stuff like that, dude was a real genuine, down to earth Memphis guy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys from Memphis, they seem like they're tough, rough, and cut from a different cloth because we are. But at the end of the day, when you pull that layer back and you get to know us, I mean, we all really just cool, bro. We just want to see everybody eat. We want to see everybody shine. So on my end, man, it hurts. It still hurts. It's still disbelief. I can't. I find myself trying not to go look his name up or anything like that, and seeing him, seeing different um seeing him speak at different venues and stuff like that. Because, man, like I said, it feels like I just lost a family member. No cap.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go ahead and when I heard the news, me and my wife, we, were both working from home that day, and she was the first one to bring it to my attention. And I'm like, man, stop playing. Like, basically, it was kind of like Nipsey. I was just like, I was shocked, and I was just like, man, you know how social media kind of tries to kill people off. So I just thought it was one of them situations. I'm like, this can't be true. Ain't no way that they didn't kill Dolph because, previously, I believe in like 2017, they tried to
Hmm.
kill him before, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I was just like, he got away from like almost 100 shots getting shot at him. Like, it ain't no way somebody killed him here in Memphis, Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? So that's what went through my mind. And then, I and it almost kind of reminded me of Kobe too. Like,
Yeah.
it's a different situation, different scenario. But I remember when the Kobe news broke, I was just like, stop playing. It's no way that Kobe Bryant is dead. Like in a plane, in a helicopter crash. I couldn't process it. It just wasn't, to me, it just wasn't true until I saw it on the big screen. I had to see it on the news to actually believe that it was true, because even after seeing it on Twitter, I was just like, somebody gonna be like, yeah, we was just playing a joke, like, you know what I'm saying, he's still alive, like, and that's the what I really thought. And then, sure enough, he was dead. And it's just, it's tragic, man. I really love Dolph. I loved his music. I listen to him all the time. I know a lot of people here, they love, the beef aside, like a lot of people love Yo Gotti because he's the kind of the veteran in the game, and he's been putting on for Memphis for a long time. But I felt like Dolph really did a lot of good as well, and his music was just as impactful, you know what I'm saying, as Gotti's music as well. And it was just, again, it was just a shocker to me because, like I said, I listened to him a lot, especially recently. And Keegan like just dropped his album like the week before, and my thoughts just went to like, dang, like this man got to be torn up, about this situation. You know what I'm saying? That's like his brother. Uh, but ultimately, man, it's just sad, And like Chris said, it almost feels like you lost a family member, like somebody close to you, like Nip. I watched Nip from when he first started to up until you know till his untimely demise, till he got killed as well. And it just felt like somebody close to me had gotten taken away, almost. And I guess that's just the social media effect. Like, you're able to be inside people's lives because they're posting, and you feel like you know them a lot more than you would if it wasn't for social media. You kind of are able to interact with them on a daily basis, and that kind of makes it a little bit more personal to people. But yeah, it was just, just kind of, to me, it's like, why are we taking away people that are doing so much positive in the community? His lyrics and his music aside, like the dude, like on Thanksgiving, he gives away turkeys, and we all know, we've seen how the price of turkeys has went up. So you got to think how that impacts the families that maybe can't afford a turkey. That's a big thing for them. And then, like, reading the story, like, about the two girls that were playing his music at Duke University, I believe, that got fired because they were playing his music, and he brought them on stage at Rolling Loud and gave them both $20,000 and told them to get paid. You know what I'm saying? So that's just like some of the things that he did. And he was a businessman. He owned his masters. Like, he did a lot of good things that people don't realize. And that's the one thing I will say that I'm happy about. It seems like the news painted him in a decent light. Like, they didn't try to assassinate his character or talk about him as if he was this thug. They talked about the good things that he did. And that's the one thing I can say that was positive, that they made positive about Dolph. They didn't try to like say he was this thug and he got killed because of his music and stuff like that. So I mean, I really appreciate that, especially here locally. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'll let somebody else speak.
For me, I mean, I'm not gonna even fake the funk. Um, the only reason I know about Dolph is because one of my frat brothers is a DJ, and he would always make Facebook statuses about Dolph. That's the only reason I actually really know about him. I could not pick out a song he's ever made. I've just never got into him or followed him. My initial thought when I heard about it was almost, and it's gonna sound cynical and it's gonna sound jaded, but I just thought rinse, wash, and repeat. Because it's almost the cost of doing business now as a rapper. Because you've seen it with Pop Smoke. You've seen it with Nipsey Hussle. You've seen it with countless others, even going back to Tupac, Biggie, Big L. I mean, just name. I mean, it's almost like a who's who, almost like a Hall of Fame of rappers that have that have gotten murdered. You know, the names that have gotten murdered are almost as monumental as the ones that are still, you know what I'm saying, that are still living. So it almost gets to a point where we are desensitized to it, but certain aspects it kind of shocks you because if it comes out of nowhere, like just a random weekday at in the middle of the day,
Mhm.
1 o'clock or 12, 12:15 at a cookie, at a cookie store, like what like you just ask yourself the question, like, why? And that's always when you see instances like this. That's always the unanswered question. You almost never seem to get a legitimate, as if there is a legitimate reason to ever take a life other than self-defense or whatever. But why? What's the reason? What could somebody have possibly done that was so egregious that you had to go and shoot them up at a cookie store? What is it? And, we talk about crabs on a barrel. We talk about hate. The level of hate that you have to have for somebody to just take their life. Just to randomly take their life. Like you said, it's one thing is, okay, somebody is shooting at me, I'm shooting back at them. But if somebody's just performing a regular routine, going to the store, just walking into I don't know, a dealership. Remembering XX Tentacion, just all these different these different instances. I mean, what's going on? What's going on with our culture in general, to where we are so desensitized to life, where people just don't realize that this is not GTA. You know what I'm saying? Once you pull that trigger, there's no putting that bullet back into that gun. Once that person takes their last breath, they're not coming back. So the I'm sorry's, or the I ain't mean to do that, or my bad, bro, or all that goes out the window, because you committed the act now. So it's too late to go back. And I think a lot of times individuals get so wrapped up into certain things that they don't think about the long term implications of the actions that they commit. And so those were a couple of my uh, thoughts about initially hearing about this tragedy.
Well, I think everything that y'all said was pretty much a lot of what was going on with me. I mean, I'm familiar with Dolph's music. I could say that there's some songs of his I definitely do enjoy, and you know, yeah, it is kind of like this cynicism almost. I feel like you get nowadays where you hear something negative, somebody's this, somebody's that, somebody has passed away, someone was shot. It's like, a lot of people, they run with the very first story they hear and put out a bunch of misinformation. We live in a time where there's a lot of misinformation. Uh, and I just didn't want to necessarily believe the hype until I knew it was concrete. I guess I thought about, even though Dolph has been around for a while, I don't feel as if like he really has truly had a chance to like go as far as he could potentially go with his career. And I thought about the sadness in that, but I will say the subsequent thing, outside of just thinking about how random it felt, him of all people had been taken away. I also in the following days rather, after all this, just learning just how solid of a guy he is. I mean, a lot of people have the same stories as y'all dude, and I didn't realize. I thought he was just another dude from the block who raps about stuff that he does. But like, I mean, it seems as if like he really did have a lot that he brought to the table, that he did for his community. I saw some video of him with his kids, and he just seemed like one of those people that maybe some might count out and view as just being another individual. But from the glowing responses a lot of people have had about this unfortunate incident, just shows that like this is a really heartfelt and saddening situation, and it's so unfortunate. My heart goes out to all his family members and loved ones that are affected, and of course his fans, because like, I mean, this, if you were expecting that next album or hoping that the beef that is attached with this might somehow go away, and then a lot of those local Memphis artists might be able to make some brilliant music together, those opportunities are now kind of over with, at least with his particular involvement in it. Um, I hope that growth can come from this. I hope that, a lot of people get some healing. Maybe the music scene of music might, I'm sorry, the music scene of Memphis hopefully will flourish as it usually has in the past, but it'll flourish even more as as a byproduct of this incident. But it really did. It took me off guard. I think, long story short, it took me off guard, and I don't want to be negative and think that, oh, this is just a sign of the times, or that we live in and the kind of people that are out there. But man, it's like when it's bad, when it feels like it's bad all the way around, it's hard for you to see the good. And yeah, I guess it's hard to like just keep yours when it's all said and done.
I will
Yeah.
ask this though. I think I asked y'all, about this before, but being that both of y'all are from Memphis, you can kind of school those that might not be from the area a little bit more, because I think a parallel with the whole Nipsey Hustle thing being that, in music and in life, you have people that have titles, but you have people that are leaders, regardless of the title. Meaning that there are certain people that, okay, people will follow because, hey, they have a title. Like, hey, you're CEO of blah blah blah. And then there are people that are natural leaders that people just gravitate toward just because of that it factor, that charisma. Meaning that, Nipsey probably wasn't like the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, but he was that guy that had the charisma that people rallied around, and they listened when he talked. Would you compare him, or would he be a good comparable to Young Dolph in that regard? Meaning that, Yo Gotti may be older, or like more commercial of a name, but is in terms of like a backing, a groundswell, more of a person. I guess what I'm trying to say, he would be more comparable to, uh, speaking of Young Dolph, more comparable to Nipsey Hussle in that regard.
I mean, from like all of the like the postings and stuff that I've seen, like it's people that were really close to him. Like I think Grove Hero, I saw one of his posts was pretty touching. Like Dolph put him on, like he's the guy, with the arm, with the disability, and he's really funny. He's made a living off of pretty much checking people. You know what I'm saying, or being a comedian, pretty much. But Dolph put him on and gave him the ability to buy and fix up houses and give them to people here in the community. Also, give cars away to people who didn't have cars, and like he's doing a lot of good things in the community. So I feel like Dolph, yes, like to an extent. I mean, I think Nipsey is on a bigger scale just because his music had a wider range probably than Dolph's had, but if he had been around longer, he probably would have been able to have a bigger impact with his music. But Dolph still has touched a lot of people. Like when I look on social media and just see the amount of people who was like, Dolph, man, like I can't believe it. Like even Swag was one of the people. Like I was just like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like he listened to Dolph, and he's a big gamer, one of the biggest Warzone players, on Twitch, basically. So like seeing those guys like give Dolph his flowers and basically send their condolences and be shocked by the news, just like here locally, like a lot of people are, is just pretty, it pretty much speaks for itself, like the impact that he has, not just his music, but the people that he's touched. Like he speaks at a lot of, he gives back to a lot of the schools and his church, and just like he did a lot of good things. And I feel like to get to see that now, it's a shame that we didn't get to see it while he was living, because that, I think that would have shined a totally different light on him than what we knew about him before he passed away. You know what I'm saying? Like I never knew some of the stuff that he did until he passed away. I knew he put people on and he gave them an avenue to be, who they are, but to this extent, it's just kind of crazy to see the people that he's touched. So
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, he definitely stretched far for sure. And I knew about the Grove Hero situation, with them putting him on. And I'll take it even a step further, even though it's like our neighboring um city or state in Georgia with Atlanta. But you got so many rappers out of Atlanta that's like, man, I lost a brother, I lost a brother. And
mhm.
people who had genuine responses like Gucci, the Migos, these are people that he would frequently. I remember first listening to Dolph when I'm not gonna say when he first came out. I started listening to Dolph probably back in 2015, 2014. I want to say 2014ish. Um, and he would always talk about how he really didn't do nothing with the rappers here in Memphis. He would go to Atlanta, and it showed with their responses. Gucci was like his big brother. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of his game from Gucci, and when you look at the comparison between him and Yo Gotti, I feel like they're on two different ends of the spectrum. I feel like you can compare Gotti to Memphis. You can put Gotti in the category of Memphis's Jay-Z with the moves that he makes and how he runs and orchestrates his business. And I think saying that Dolph can be compared to Nipsey is a fair assumption, because he appeals to a lot of the younger crowd. And I mean, his main statement is always just get money. You know what I mean? Don't let nobody run you. Get money, go out there, earn it, bank it up, keep stacking and flipping it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it just sucks, man. It sucks without a doubt. It sucks.
Yeah. But moving on into our next topic. So how do you guys feel like Dolph's death affects Memphis music?
Um, I mean, I feel like you'll hear it in his group. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw it, but Key Glock made his first post today, just letting people know, like, stop asking me, am I okay? Of course I'm not okay, which is I can definitely relate to that, because I remember when I lost my wife, people were asking me, am I okay? Like, nigga, you know damn well I'm not okay. Stop asking me that question. I feel like that's the worst question you can ever ask a person when they lose somebody that's close to them. You know they're not okay. If you can't
True.
think of nothing to
Just
say,
don't say nothing.
don't say shit. Don't say nothing. Just keep it to yourself, because if I snap, if I act this way towards you and I snap when you ask me that question, then you're gonna say I'm in the wrong. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
I'm spewing misplaced anger. You know what I'm saying? But um I feel like, you know, we're gonna still get hard music out of Memphis. Um it's crazy to see that a lot of the folks on Yo Gotti's side, not trying to play sides or anything like that, but it's crazy to see that, we saw no RIP Dolph, no none of that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just kept going on about their life, about their day, like nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? And then on Dolph side is completely different, and I even went under a couple comments from people on CMG's camp when they would just make their regular posts, and it's just nothing but Dolphins going all the way down their comments. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I feel like people. I feel like I hate to say it, but it seems like y'all said, it's gonna be a revolving cycle. We're gonna talk about it now, and then it's just gonna get washed under the rug, you know. And this is the perfect. This is the main reason why people say give folks they flowers while they here, because something like this happens, people gonna mourn for a couple days, weeks, you know what I'm saying, and then they're gonna get back to their life. And we even got it now. A lot of people who fake claiming they listen to Dolph, this, that, and the third, which is I'm perfectly fine because he own his masters. That's going towards his wife and his kids. So y'all keep running them numbers up as much as you can. But at the same time, you'll see a lot of fake love that's gonna come that really wasn't there, and y'all didn't give him his love and his flowers when he deserved them while he was still here on earth. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, but just to answer the question, I feel like the music in Memphis is still gonna be the music in Memphis is still gonna go on. It's gonna be hard. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
always.
mean, I saw where his label, they're still trying to continue some of those traditions like the
Yeah, they
turkey
still did
giveaway
that one.
that they normally do. But what do you think? What do you think that's is next for his label? Like the next person to step up? Because I guess the main man in the spotlight now is Key Glock. Being the I guess the who would be that next star? To step up from that camp to to put that label on their back and keep going.
I mean, it's got to be Key Glock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like to me, that's the only person I could think of that had just as big of a you know impact,
Influence.
impact. As Dolph. If not, is probably on the same level. Like a lot of people, I've seen people say they knew about Dolph through Key Glock. So Key Glock's music is just that big to where people found out about Dolph through him. You know what I'm saying? But the effect on Memphis music, I feel like it leaves this hole, in music to me in the Memphis music to me personally. This is a person, like I said, that I listen to a lot, that I was big on from Memphis. And I just feel like not being able to hear his voice. I'm sure he'll have some post-death albums, posthumous albums,
Unreleased stuff.
but it's just not the same as him living and creating fresh music and being able to work with other artists and things of that nature. So I think it kind of leaves a hole, a gap, a void, and it's gonna affect Memphis music uh, in that way because now you don't have that voice, and hopefully Key Glock steps up, but we don't know what he's gonna do. He could be like, "Hey, I'm out. I don't want to do this anymore." You know what I'm saying? It could affect him negatively, like he may not want to do music anymore. So then that's like a whole camp that the other artists may not even be able to get a chance to get on because he may not continue the legacy. But I hope he does. I feel like he will, but I hope this personally, like this brings people together. I've said this in our discussions, like I feel like Memphis could be the next Atlanta if the artists just work together. Like all this beef, all this hatred towards one another, because you want to be the king of the city, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, of course, somebody has to supersede somebody. Somebody has to be is gonna be bigger than somebody. But at the end of the day, all the rappers can eat and have an impact if they just work together and make music together, but they don't want to. Look at Atlanta. All the artists, no matter the beef, even Jeezy and Gucci just made up. Like, despite all the beef, they work together, they support one another, and I just feel like if we had that kind of camaraderie here in Memphis, like it'd blow up. Like you look at 3 6, 3 6 was big enough to work with Jay-Z and other artists like that. You know what I'm saying? So
You get an
like
Academy Award and
yeah,
everything.
to win an Oscar for doing a song. So it's just like I feel like it's time out for all the hatred, all that gang. I get it, but we gotta let that go. You know what I'm saying? And
Crazy
start
part is
focusing on
these dude went to the same school. That's
went to
the
the
crazy
same
part.
school.
Like
Like, just we gotta focus
this
on
shit,
uplifting the city.
it's
Like, you
just
know what I'm saying?
crazy.
Like I think of like Memphis could be the next, not just music wise, but Memphis could be the next Atlanta, just community wise and just visually. like, the city could be booming if we just came together and worked together. You know what I'm saying? But it just takes them to put all the beef aside. And like Chris said, you ain't seen no reaction from the CMG artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just it's kind of a shame. I get it. Maybe they just don't want to speak on it, but it'd be nice to see somebody say, "Hey, R.I.P. to Dolph," and put the beef aside and all that and foolishness. It just
Yeah.
makes sense
And
for somebody to lose their life over.
my whole thing with saying that is, it's not to say, oh, you gotta appeal or, you know, play the hand that everybody wants you to play and come out here and give a big old, RIP to this person, man. I really rock with him, this, that, and the third. But I'm not saying you got to do that. All I'm saying is, what's going on. The tension inside. That your camp is taking part of the blame. They saying that y'all are the ones that really had him killed. Least you could do is come out and be like, hey, look, man, all the bullshit aside, like, I didn't want nothing like that to happen to that man. I respect him. Even Biggie said that about Tupac. You feel me? So it's nothing for you to come out and say something, but we keeping it business as usual. I mean, I don't know. Y'all may be saying something on the back end. That's perfectly fine, but you can at least come out and let the fans know. Look, it wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? It was never that. We never wanted anything like that to happen, and then keep it moving. But
I
it
mean,
look.
I I I agree with you. Like, I feel as if like you really bring some scrutiny to yourself when you don't step in and like if somebody's like saying, has anybody like, if something happened to Rob and everybody think Al C did it, if Al C doesn't step up and say, yeah, I hear what y'all saying. Keep me out of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the very least, like, give you. I mean, you maybe the beef is so thick that you can't necessarily see past giving your condolences right at this very moment. But like, I mean, at the at least, clear your name or at least make it seem as
Exactly.
if like you a big enough person to like basically say, hey, this is just some silly street stuff that ain't got nothing to do with me and my dealings with whoever. And it really, I would love the community of Memphis from a musical standpoint, from a city standpoint to grow and flourish. But just thinking about the landscape of hip hop and us as, I guess, like a African American community, I just really hope that one lesson from this, we look at Pop Smoke, we look at XX Tension, like we look at these artists. I think what King Von, we look at these artists who were like taken away real early, and it's kind of like a thing of, it seems like it's always a similar situation where it I don't know who is responsible for this particular incident, but it always seems as if it's never, they may be beefing with some other big name artist, but it's never that who takes them out. It seems like it's always some outlier. It makes it seem as if like some people are so envious or so spiteful that like they just want to take a shot at whoever is look as being like a big fish. It's a crab in a crab barrel type situation. I mean, I think that as a community we're better than that, and we should act as if like we're better than that. I hope that this had what the effect it has on music is that, like, hopefully the violence sometimes that we talk about in music doesn't always have to imitate, art doesn't have to imitate life, and hopefully that just these artists, they're treated for the good that they are able to bring to music, to the world, and just not, don't have this target painted on their back. If they're capable of doing something great in their lifetime, let them do what's great. Let them be great. Like, stop silencing people over petty stuff because you ain't got nothing, or like you just got some petty beef to settle. It's so that's. I mean, I don't know the ramifications of what got this man taken away like this, but it just seems so. It just seemed like like the ends didn't justify the means, or whatever like happened that led to this man being murdered off, and music suffers because of it. Art suffers.
I think also though that we gotta look at the elephant in the room though, man. And we gotta start being accountable, as a people in general, because we continue to see the negative cycle. The negative cycle. Not necessarily talking about this instance, but we seen in the past. This artist from this camp gets killed, then a retaliation for that, then a retaliation for that, then a retaliation for that, and it goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And at the end of the day, I mean, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? At some point, somebody has to be mature. Somebody has to be mature and grow up. And a light has to go off in somebody's head like, hey, we have this great opportunity to make music and get paid for these talents. Let's be thankful for these talents and this opportunity that we have to put food on our family's table. The opportunity we have through music and through rhyming, putting words together in an artistic way to be able to travel around the world, to see a whole bunch of things, to pull my life or my family out of abject poverty, instead of continuing to have that dog eat dog rat race mentality. Because a lot of times you see people that have made it and rich or whatever, and they still coming back, on them same dangerous, what I'm saying, the same dangerous areas that they've always been, because they got to feel like, I don't want to feel like I sold out, or I don't want I'm good in on anybody block, feeling that they got to prove something to somebody, to somebody else. Once you've gotten a certain to a certain status. But we need to break some of these generational curses. We need to change our mindset about certain things, and instead of hating on people, start congratulating. Start up, and I tell you where it starts though. It starts in school. It starts in school by applying yourself, because many times you see in class or in school, everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. You got some kids that's going to take advantage of that opportunity. Some people that's going to grit, they're going to grind, they're going to realize what their talent is, they're going to realize what their gift is, they're going to hone it, and they're going to work on their craft, and guess what, they're going to be successful. But conversely, you got some kids that just going to sit there. They just sitting there. They want to be the class clown. They don't want to do nothing. They don't want them for themselves. They don't want them for nobody else. And when they see that other person that's really successful, they start to resent that person. Why resent that person? Why not get like that person?
But I
Why
mean,
not?
even go it goes even further than just like class and stuff though. That's just life in our black community. You know what I'm saying? All of us can be the most educated people in the world, and if if it was a scenario where one of us came up with an idea to get richer than the other, and one of us got jealous, you still have your own talents. You don't have to be jealous of me because I went this route and I made it. But there's always that one person, no matter what. We could have been raised up, and when you look at it, this is what makes what Boosie said. This is what makes what he said really ring bells when he said the majority of rappers get killed in their own hometown. It could have been the same dude that was sitting in the classroom with you that you was a class clown with. You was just smarter. You know what I'm saying? So you made it further, and they jealous of you. So they looking to take you out any chance that they can. It's a constant issue that we have within our community because we are the one main community that will continue to pull us down. We want all the respect in the world. We want everybody to you know what I'm saying, hear us, be with us. Black lives matter, this, that, and the third. But this is where I always say Black lives matter, but they don't matter until they start mattering to us. We don't care for one another. Motherfucker rich, and they see you riding down the street, they ready to take you out just so they can get a stripe and just so they can say that they did something. Now,
And
especially nowadays, because these kids don't care. And when you look at those photos, I'm pretty sure every one of us have seen every person who watches this, and every one of us has seen the photos of those dudes. Those dudes do not look like they were older than 22 years old. still wet behind the ears, have not experienced life at all. And they took this man out for what? For what? Nothing. There's no reason, but you're jealous because you are still in poverty, because you are living in an area where you do not want to live at, because you hear what he's saying, but you're not applying yourself the way he is telling you to apply yourself. You're not doing the things that he's telling you to do. You're not gonna get rich overnight. This shit gonna come with you taking losses. This is gonna happen. But because you see he got it and you don't, you're gonna take him out. So
You
And
know, Rob
I
talked about I hate to cut in, but like Rob, you talked about the elephant in the room. You know, another elephant in the room is like, let's be real. This urban music, this R&B, this rap, this street trap, whatever you want to call it. You know, like rap. The voice of rap music sometimes is one that always is violence adjacent. You know, talking about like all these, they should just be stories of like things that happen on the street, but sometimes it's like this braggadocious type thing where we talking about like, oh, I shoot this, I do that. You know, I'm the biggest this in my city, and like I feel as if like it breeds to some people just this thought process as if like you the strongest, toughest, baddest, whatever like that is out there, and maybe that's a defense mechanism that you need in order to survive in those sort of situations. But I will say there's a generation of people who come from, not the greatest background, who they get like this boost up in their head as if like this makes them tough, and it's like you really a pussy ass person. You know what I'm saying? You really have been taught a lot of bad influences, in my opinion, which have manifested themselves in thinking that like you can't properly handle your own emotions. You don't know how to get out there and get it without being like some low life. And then when you see somebody who is getting it and making it, you feel as if like you gotta knock them off, as if like there aren't any consequences in the world towards your actions. I feel as if like if there's anything I would love for this to come of all this, is like that some of you want to be tough guys out there that can't can't really defend yourself, you know what I'm saying, with your hands. Instead, you got to pick up like a weapon or something, and then feel as if like the way in which you can like get your strike, get your star, get your hood credibility is by like, offer somebody who's a bigger fish than you. You really need to realize that you're a weak individual, and you need to stop exercising these weak actions as a byproduct of, just generations worth of being taught like this bullshit street life. I mean, get it how you live, hustle how you hustle, but like I mean, some of y'all really need to act as if like there's some sort of real street code that like y'all live by, that like understands that like you need to understand that like there's just things that you shouldn't do. You shouldn't do, like think better of, find a different way around to maneuver, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe because I didn't grow up like that, you know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to understand the lifestyle, but something need to change. Like that much we all know and can agree on.
Yeah. You got something to say, Rob?
I think I mean two things though. In response to that though, man, because I think we hit on it, and Kanye alluded to it, in his interview with Nord on Drink Champs, when he talked about professional. This is professional sport, in meaning almost like professional wrestling. Because remember, I told y'all for many years I always thought professional wrestling was real, and when I found out professional wrestling wasn't real, it was a blow to me. Same way with music. You got some cats that are in the game that have not done any of the stuff that they rap about. Conversely, you have some guys that are really rapping about stuff that they really have done. But unless you are really in the know, you can't tease out between the real and the not real. So the consumer listening to this stuff, you have to understand some of and I don't want this to sound derogatory toward or inflammatory toward the listeners of rap music, but you have to understand that some of the people that are listening to these raps, they are taking those raps at face value. So if you come out and you tell me that, hey, I sold these bricks, or I got these keys and I did this and I clapped up these and I got these many bodies or whatever, blah blah blah, and I'm saying it with a nice flow, a nice cadence, and I look the part. 9 times out of 10, unless unless there are people out there that really knew me, that really went to high school with me or really went to school with me, that come out and be like, man, Rob ain't no thug. The people that listening to my music in San Francisco, they didn't go to school with me. So they just see this outside exterior. They hear the raps and that they think I'm totally legit. That's what I would say to that part. But the other part that I would say, and I told y'all this before, and I'll be through about this. The other elephant in the room, and we talk about the crabs in the barrel, we talk about things of that nature. I will always say that we still have untold side effects that go back all the way to slavery, meaning where we were pitted against each other. You have the individuals who worked in the fields, and you have the individuals that worked in the house. A way to keep those individuals pitted against each other, because the folks in the fields, they looking at the folks that working in the house thinking they got it easy because they not out there in that 100-degree heat working hard from sun up to sundown, getting whipped on their back for not doing this. They thinking, hey, man, you light skinned, you lighter Negroes in the house, y'all got it way easier. Y'all think y'all better than us. You see the same mentality. It is just morphed into today's society where you see somebody else with a couple more corns than you look at them, or you see somebody that got themselves, it look like they got themselves together. You gonna look at her. She thinks she all that. Now that girl ain't said nothing like that, but she has a high self-esteem because her parents have always told her, hey, you're smart, you're beautiful, you can do this. They've always uplifted her. But you looking at it because you come from a dysfunctional situation, you come in looking at her like, oh, she thinks she all that. She got her nose stuck up in the air. Ooh, I can't stand her. Crabs in a barrel.
That's true. Yeah, man. This whole Dolph situation is just sad, and especially like I think about is we're about to come up on Thanksgiving, and he has kids and a wife, that won't be able to spend family, his grandma, and his other family members that won't be able to share this holiday with him. So the one thing I would say, out of all this is just keep your family members close, and be thankful for the family that you have and appreciate them and make sure you give them their flowers while they're here, and that kind of brings me into our next topic. I just want to ask you guys, what are you thankful for this Thanksgiving?
Man,
Definitely thankful for making it. I'm not gonna say making it through another year because we still got another month to make it through to say we made it to
claim it, man,
2022.
claim it.
But definitely thankful for making it this far. Um, Thankful for my family, for my friends, still being able to put food on the table. Still got a beating heart. I'm light skinned, so I guess that means I would have been a house nigga. I mean, yeah, a house nigga. So, ooh, thankful for that. Fuck you, time out. Thankful for my boys here at this podcast, man. Doing this podcast is real cool, man. It gives us something to do on Sundays, allows us to get our thoughts out there, man. It's something that one of my best friends, man. He it's kind of inspired him to want to start up a podcast as well because he was like, it's cool. He's always got a lot of thoughts that he wants to just put out there. Um, and a lot of the people that I work with, they watch our podcast as well. and they like the way we got it put together, man. So I'm definitely thankful for this. Thankful, you know what I'm saying, that we got some with some genuine, authentic guys having authentic
When it
conversations.
conversation.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't just going at you hoes all day. You know what I mean? We talk, we get on the fellas too. You know what I'm saying? So, but thankful for a lot, man. Thankful for everything. Thankful for everything, without a doubt. What y'all thankful for?
And that floor
I
to get
think I'm
careful.
thankful for. I'm thankful that the Lord delivered my sister from her situation. You know, she's in remission from cancer, and
Hey.
you
Mm.
know that's a beautiful thing. You know, she's a
Mhm.
beautiful person. I'm so glad that she is getting the better of that. I'm thankful for my parents. I don't get a chance to see them and talk to them as much as I want to, but I'm thankful for them. I'm thankful for my core set of friends. I know that I don't get a chance to talk to them the way I want to, and I'm sorry for that. It's kind of like it's all kind of as this season comes around, and then just as the years pass, it just makes me feel kind of sad. But I'm thankful for the people that I have in my life. I'm thankful for my wife's personal trainer because them yams are looking better and better every week. Thank you. Crystal Fitness, something online. Like, man, so thankful for you. Mm,
Oh, Lord.
mm, thank you. Mm. But and of course, I'm thankful for my beautiful wife. She's like my better half, and I don't know. I'm thankful for you guys for giving me the opportunity to kind of like have the platform to get some of the stuff that be on my mind out for the world to hopefully discern and hear and feel me on. And I'm just thankful to be able to traverse with this life, and hopefully it'll have a good end whenever that comes. Hopefully sometime in the distant future. Just I'm thankful for life.
Oh man, I'm thankful for everything. Family, my wife, my son who just turned 8.
Shout out
Yesterday,
Trigger Trey.
yeah,
Hey.
yesterday. Love you, boy. Uh, man, like I said, my family, I mean everybody, my whole circle. Thankful for the obviously for for this podcast because it's been a long time, long time coming. Me and Reezy done had different, different things, different blogs and different, we would start a blog or something like that, and it'll go. We have a couple articles on that joint, then it just. But the podcast finally, it finally stuck. Thankful for everybody that's really been supporting us from day one. Even thankful for the folks that give the feedback, them thumbs down when they ain't down like us talking about their boy Yeezy and other others one. But but thankful for the future because I really think that we're gonna come with even better content in this next year and taking this podcast to another level like the meme that you saw a couple years ago with the woman on them steps going up them different going up them higher steps to a higher level. So health, all that good stuff. And always, thankful to my alma mater, Mississippi Valley State University, who's looking up, man. Our football coach just signed his extension, and we trying to do a little something at the Valley. So I'm thankful.
Uh, I'm thankful for my wife, of course, man. Thankful for growth, man. Like in life, just in general. With everything that's going on with COVID, and that's thankful that's finally looks like it's letting up a little bit. I mean, I know it still exists, but it seems like we kind of being able to get back to a little somewhat normalcy, even if it's not going to be the same as it was pre-COVID. Hopefully, we can get back to some sort of normalcy. And just thankful for family, man. Thankful for my parents. Thankful for my in-laws. Thankful for just everybody in my circle, all the Quatches, my brother, and just everybody that supports us, man. The podcast, especially, like my brother said, it gives us something to do, gives me personally more purpose, and feeling like, I have somewhere to, let my voice be heard and let my opinions be heard and my thoughts be heard. And also the growth that comes along with just this podcast, man, I feel like I've grown a lot just as a person, and being able to speak, on camera is something that's very tough, and challenging. So, it kind of forces you to grow and learn a new skill set. So I'm thankful for that. And just like the future, I feel like big things are coming, not just with this podcast, but just in life in general, man, and just thankful for this generation, and, my peers and the people around me, man, like seeing all the greatness and, the wealth, generational wealth talk. And it's so many different ways that people are able to build wealth and, impact people's lives. And I'm thankful for that. I'm saying? Like, it's inspiring, it's inspirational, and, it's helping a lot of people get out of bad situations. So just thankful for all that stuff, man, in general. But anyway, I'm saying, we have reached the end of the video. And we appreciate you guys as always for tuning in to episode 19. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. Tell your mama to tell your mama's mama to tell your granddaddy that we said watch the damn video. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man? Like we always say, if you ain't feel us this time, you damn sure gonna feel us